YouTube, what's going on? Enzo back here with another Division video. I did a whole Let's Play series last week, and today is Tuesday. The beta ended today, and I'm making this video basically just to kind of go over my thoughts on the beta. It was only over this past weekend, the last weekend of January in 2016, and there's a lot of really good things that came out of this. I really enjoyed what I played of the beta. It was very interesting. It was very fun. There was only one mission. There was only one. You can only unlock certain skills and play a certain way, really. It was very limited, but it was fun. What was there was very fun, and I had a good time with it, and I enjoyed playing what I played of it. But there's a lot of questions, and perhaps maybe more questions than answers, which is really concerning with the Division. First and foremost, endgame, because the content is there from levels 1 to 30. Ubisoft has already come out and said that level 30 is going to be the max level, and they've already made a bunch of other claims about the game. But endgame content is where things get a bit dicey. We really have no information on any type of endgame content. Like, for example, Destiny is a very similar game to the Division in the fact that it's an MMO, shooter-looter, exploration type game. Now it is very different. It has a much different setting. It's first person, not third person. It's very futuristic. There's almost magical powers in Destiny, you know, for lack of a better way to describe it. But the premise of the game, that massively multiplayer shooter experience, almost an MMORPG type experience in shooter platform, is very unique to these two games right now. There's not very many other games like that. The closest game would probably be Borderlands, and it doesn't work the same way that those two games work. But the difference in these two games compared to other games is that they should have something that keeps players going once the story's over. Not that Destiny had much of a story to really write home about to begin with, but, you know, it did have something there. It had PvE, it had some single player content, so that if you wanted to play alone by yourself, you could do that, and you could really get by and still have a pretty enjoyable experience with the game. Now, where Destiny shines is its endgame content. That's probably the best part of the game. Playing with 5 other of your friends and taking on the raid, fighting Oryx or Atheon, or doing one of these raids, which is a cooperative experience where really everybody needs to just buckle down and just do what they need to do and work in a team effort to take down a boss, is really the pinnacle of what this type of genre can bring to video games. Now, the Division, we don't know if they're going to have anything like that. Will the Division have, you know, I hate to say raid, because that's what it's called in Destiny and other popular MMORPGs, you know. World of Warcraft has raids and etc. And obviously they work differently depending on what the genre is and stuff like that. But would a raid work in the Division? Is that what Ubisoft has planned for endgame content? Nobody really knows because they haven't said anything about it. At least when Destiny came out, Bungie came out pretty much right after that and had a plan. They laid out a plan and said, this is what we're doing, this is what this game is going to have. And then the next E3, they laid out the future plan and the future content. Now, Ubisoft has already laid out their future content. They have a season pass, going to be 3 major DLC packs, and if you buy the season pass, and even if you don't buy the season pass, but obviously you'll get more content for purchasing the season pass, there's going to be free content updates along with the major DLC updates that'll add more content to the game as time goes on. And then obviously we get into the Dark Zone, and the Dark Zone is a little bit of a different area in and of itself. Now, as you can see in the video in front of you, I'm showing you some of my gameplay from the Dark Zone in the Division, and it's very cutthroat. It's very high-end PvP almost type content without necessarily being exclusively PvP, because there are some enemies that drop really good loot in there, some AI enemies that drop really good loot in there that you could just find by wandering around. There's also contaminated zones that have chests in them, and if you're the first person there to get there, you can get the items or whatever is inside of that chest. But the trick to the Dark Zone is that you have to extract all of your gear, via a helicopter. And right now in the beta, there's only 3 extraction zones, and people are camping some people are camping these extraction zones, and they're jumping people that go to extract their loot, taking their loot, and then extracting the loot that they stole with their helicopter. It's pretty sadistic to think about it. It's pretty cutthroat, but it's part of the fun of the Dark Zone, knowing that at any corner, at any turn, you could just come around the corner and there could be a group of 4 people there, all good friends, and they could just stomp you out and just take all of your gear, and it could really kind of all be for nothing. But on top of that, that's not the only way to get gear in the Dark Zone. Now, in the video behind you on the top right, there's a purple number. There's normally an experience bar, but I guess I don't have any experience at this current point in the video, so the bar isn't there. But there's Dark Zone levels, and there's also something called Dark Zone credits. And you can use these credits to buy things by, going to vendors and buying weapon upgrades, mods, all different types of stuff, armor, etc. Some of it is locked out behind certain Dark Zone levels. Now, right now in the beta, the Dark Zone level maximum is 12. I don't know if that's going to be final. I haven't heard anybody say anything about Dark Zone levels or really get into specifics about the Dark Zone either. And I guess that's really my main concern in this video, is that Ubisoft hasn't gotten into great detail about what's going to be at the end game, whether it be for the Dark Zone, whether it be for just PvE content, and really whether it be for PvP content. And speaking of PvP content, there's not much to speak of other than the Dark Zone. There's no multiplayer matchmaking, there's no traditional shooter playlists, and Ubisoft has said multiple times that this game is going to be an RPG first, an open world shooter second. They were very high on that. They emphasized that a lot in the videos that they've put out and the press releases that they've put out. This is an RPG first, and they really wanted to emphasize on that and the teamwork and stuff. And now obviously there is PvP, because the Dark Zone is, you can go rogue, very cutthroat, as I've said about 1 million times already, and you could do some things to manufacture almost kind of a pseudo PvP environment. But there's really no playlists. There's nothing where you can just queue into, just relax and just go and just shoot people. It's only the Dark Zone so far that I've seen, and that's a little bit worrying. Now obviously the Dark Zone's very fun. I loved my time I spent in the Dark Zone. I thought it was great. But is that going to be enough for people? And I guess there's really no way to know until March 8th when the game comes out. Now, all of that stuff said and all of that stuff put to the side, I'm still super excited for The Division. I'm going to buy the game when it comes out on March 8th. I'm still super excited to see what the full game has to offer, and I'm excited to find out what the end game content is, rather than sitting here and speculating about it, Am I a little worried that we might get burned on things to do when the game is over? Yeah, a little bit, but I have faith in Ubisoft. I know that they know what they're doing with this game just by playing the beta. You can feel it, you kind of get a sense for what they're doing, and you kind of have the feeling that they kind of understand what this genre is and what they need to do to make it successful, and hopefully they know what they need to do to make it successful for the long term. Like the video, share this video, and more importantly, let me know what you guys think of the endgame content for The Division, and what do you think it'll be, and if you think it'll be improved. Will we get raids? What kind of content are we going to get to keep the game going after we all hit level 30? Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and until next time, stay classy, Internet.